You didn't stumble across this message by chance. You were led here, drawn by something deeper than your own curiosity, because deep inside you, you already knew. There's been a whisper in your soul, a pull in your spirit, a longing in your heart that the world never seemed to understand. But I'm here to tell you, you are not crazy, you are not lost, and you are not ordinary. You are a chosen one, and God is about to reveal your divine purpose. You've always felt it, that strange weight on your shoulders, even as a child, the way you noticed things others ignored, the way people treated you differently, sometimes with jealousy, sometimes with admiration, but most often with confusion. You've endured silence from those who were supposed to speak life into you. You've endured betrayal from the very people you loved, and you've endured seasons of isolation that felt like punishment, but they were preparation. Because what you carry, not everyone can understand. What you're called to do, not everyone can support. What you're becoming is going to shake realms. Chosen one, you have cried in secret more times than you can count, and still you showed up. Still you kept going. Still you held on, not because you had all the strength, but because something divine was holding you together. You didn't know it at the time, but angels were surrounding you when you thought you were alone. God was whispering promises when all you heard was pain. Heaven was working when earth seemed silent. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not rejected by the Most High. You are hidden for a reason. When God prepares someone for divine purpose, He often hides them first. Like Moses, pulled from the water and hidden for years. Like David, anointed in secret and left tending sheep. Like Joseph, misunderstood by his own brothers, thrown into a pit, and yet still destined to wear a robe of glory. You too have been through your pit, but your palace is already written. You see, divine destiny is not announced with trumpets. It's revealed through trials. The pain you went through wasn't pointless. It was prophetic. The betrayal wasn't to break you. It was to birth something holy within you. The rejection you faced was not a curse. It was redirection. God was rerouting you from the shallow places into the deep waters of your calling. And though others couldn't see your worth, God never missed a moment of your struggle. Every tear has been counted. Every night you laid awake wondering why you were so different. He was right there, watching, waiting, whispering, "Hold on, my child. I'm about to show you who you are." You weren't made to blend in. You were made to stand out. And that spiritual warfare you've been through, it wasn't random. It was targeted. Hell knew something about you before you even knew it yourself. That's why you were fought so early. That's why doors slammed in your face. That's why relationships turned cold and friends disappeared. You were carrying something sacred, and the darkness tried everything it could to keep you from discovering it. But you're still here, still standing, and that alone is a testimony of divine power. Many of you listening were born in months that carry prophetic significance. If your birthday falls in January, you were born in the month of beginnings, God's fresh start. If you were born in March, you carry warrior energy, just like Joshua, ready to cross into promise. April, you've got resurrection power. New life bursts forth wherever you go. June and July, babies often carry deep discernment, spiritual empathy. You feel what others can't even articulate. September is the month of spiritual birth. You are anointed to deliver divine things into this world. And if you were born in December, oh, you carry the fire of endings and beginnings, walking between seasons with supernatural authority. Chosen one, your birth was not just a biological event. It was a divine invasion into the earth. And yet, with all this spiritual weight, life still hit you hard. The people you trusted left. The job you prayed for didn't last. The family you would have died for barely acknowledged your pain. And in your darkest moments, you questioned if God even remembered you. You looked at others, people who mocked God, who never prayed, who seemed to get everything handed to them. And you wondered, why not me? But what if I told you God was protecting you from premature exposure? Because divine purpose must be revealed at the divine time. And the stage He's preparing for you is not small. He's not building a moment, He's building a movement. You won't just survive, you'll lead. You won't just recover, you'll restore others. You won't just be healed, you'll carry healing. That's why the pain had to go so deep, because your purpose is that high. Some of you have been waking up at strange hours, 3 a.m., 4:44, 5:55, and feeling a strange stirring. That's not random, that's spiritual. Heaven is aligning things. God is whispering direction. Your soul is tuning in. The veil is getting thinner. You've noticed your dreams becoming more vivid. Your sensitivity to people's energy is increasing. You're not imagining it. Your divine radar is activating because it's time. He's about to pull you from the back to the front. He's about to take the pain that almost broke you and turn it into purpose that will bless generations. He's about to send divine connections, kingdom doors, prophetic instructions. You're not going to have to force it. It's going to flow. And the people who counted you out are about to witness your rising. This is your season of unveiling. The divine curtain is lifting. And what God is about to reveal through you will cause the atmosphere around you to shift. You'll walk into rooms and carry a presence that silences darkness, not because of who you are, but because of who is in you. You were born for such a time as this. You didn't come through all that pain for nothing. You didn't survive every betrayal, every storm, every silent night of weeping just to live a life that's average. No, chosen one. The enemy fought you hard because he saw what was coming. He saw the oil God was pouring on your life. He saw the glory being stirred up inside your soul, and he tried everything he could to stop it, but he failed. Look at what you've survived. Look at the spiritual battles you've walked through. And still, your faith hasn't died. That's not weakness, that's power. That's not coincidence, that's calling. Every battle was a blueprint, every heartbreak a hammer, every disappointment a divine detail in your destiny. You didn't lose your way. You were being led through fire so you could come out refined. You were made for the battle. Your struggle wasn't just physical, it was spiritual. You were fighting in invisible realms. People mocked your silence, but they didn't see the demons you were wrestling in your sleep. They saw your tears, but they never saw the legions of darkness trying to snuff out your light. You weren't just dealing with life, you were in a war for your purpose. But God never left you. Psalm 34:19 says, "Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivers him out of them all." That verse is your story. You were afflicted, yes. Attacked, yes. Abandoned, yes. But you were also protected. You were delivered. And even when the pit looked like your end, heaven had already declared your beginning. Every time you walked away from someone who didn't see your worth, you were walking closer to someone who will. Every time they lied about you, God was writing truth into your legacy. Every time the door slammed, it redirected you to one that had your name engraved on it. You thought it was rejection, but it was realignment. And those dark nights, the ones you cried in secret, the ones where you asked, "God, do you even hear me?" He heard every word. Psalm 56:8 tells us he records every tear in his bottle. Not one drop was wasted. Not one cry was ignored. God was building something holy through your heartbreak. That's why the enemy tried to isolate you, to convince you that you were abandoned. But isolation is not rejection, it's preparation. You were pulled away so that your vision could become clear, so that your spiritual ears could hear what noise had been drowning out. You needed quiet to recognize your calling. The spirit realm has always been aware of who you are. That's why strange things always followed you, why people would turn on you suddenly, why rooms would shift when you entered, why you often felt like you were fighting unseen forces, because you are marked. Ephesians 6:12 says, For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world. You were never just fighting people. You were wrestling powers. But guess what? You didn't just survive. You conquered. Because the word also says in Romans 8:37, "In all these things we are more than conquerors, through him who loved us." You weren't just chosen to endure, you were chosen to overcome. Now heaven is shifting things in your favor. The angels who once stood guard over you in silence are now moving in action. Divine strategies are being released. Where confusion once ruled, clarity is about to flood in. God is about to show you why the wilderness lasted so long and why it was never meant to destroy you, but to define you. You're not the same person who entered that storm. You've been transformed. Your discernment has sharpened. Your authority has matured. Your identity is no longer rooted in what you lost. It's rooted in who you are. You are no longer just surviving life. You are becoming a vessel for something far greater. People who once dismissed you are now watching from a distance. They can feel it. Your aura has changed. Your energy no longer begs to be understood. You are no longer trying to prove your worth. You simply walk in it. The presence of God is resting on you, and darkness can't deny it. Isaiah 54:17 promises, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue which rises against you in judgment you shall condemn." Do you understand what that means? It means all those spiritual darts, the envy, the curses, the slander, they will fall flat, because God is raising a shield around you. Your enemies know it. The same people who laughed when you were low are now uncomfortable. Why? Because the light you carry exposes their shadows. Because the anointing on your life makes them uneasy. Because God is preparing a table in their presence, and they can smell what's cooking. Psalm 23:5 says it best, "You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup runs over." Your cup is about to overflow. Your enemies will not be destroyed by your hand. They'll be humbled by your elevation. They'll watch as God places a crown where they tried to place shame. Don't look back, chosen one. Don't try to explain yourself to people who never intended to understand you. Don't water down your spirit to make others comfortable. You've been forged in fire. Walk in that fire. Speak with authority. Love with power. Move with purpose. This world needs what you carry. The flame inside you is not just for light. It's for warfare. It's for awakening. It's for divine alignment. And God is not just calling you to the front. He's establishing your legacy. So when the next door opens, walk through boldly. When the opportunity comes, seize it without shrinking. When the vision becomes clear, act on it with holy confidence. Because this is not the season of waiting anymore. It's the season of revealing. Your divine purpose is not something small, chosen one. It's weighty. It's sacred. It will disturb demons and unlock destinies. You were sent here not to fit in, but to usher in change. You are a lighthouse in a storm, a voice in the wilderness, a bridge for the broken, a carrier of the presence. And the time is now. You've been waiting, praying, asking heaven, when will justice come? When will the tears I've cried become the rain that waters my blessing? And now, chosen one, you're entering a moment not just of restoration, but of divine justice. God has seen everything, every lie spoken behind closed doors, every time someone used your kindness, every act of manipulation, every cruel word, every moment where someone tried to twist your truth for their gain. Heaven did not ignore it. God did not sit idle. His justice may seem delayed, but it is never denied. Ecclesiastes 3:17 says, God will bring into judgment both the righteous and the wicked, for there will be a time for every activity, a time to judge every deed. That time is drawing near. The heavens are shifting, the wind is changing, and those who laughed at your weeping will witness your rising. Those who mocked your obedience will tremble at the doors God opens for you. You weren't abandoned. You were hidden. because justice delayed was actually justice being perfected. It was God saying, let me do this in a way they can't deny. Let me prepare the platform so when I lift you, no man can take the credit. You are about to receive a holy reversal. That shame, it's being reversed into honor. That loss, reversed into harvest. That depression, reversed into discernment. That abandonment, reversed into authority. And it won't just be spiritual, it will manifest. The things you lost in silence are about to return in abundance. Isaiah 61:7 gives this promise. Instead of your shame, you will receive a double portion, and instead of disgrace, you will rejoice in your inheritance. Hear that again, double portion, not the same, not similar, double, because what you endured was not ordinary, so your reward will not be common. But let me go deeper. God isn't just vindicating you, He's healing you. He's reaching into those private wounds, the ones you don't speak about, the ones where you smiled but inside you were bleeding. That ache you carry from childhood, that betrayal that made you build walls, that fear that maybe, just maybe, God had forgotten your name. He's touching that pain now. Psalm 147:3 says, He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. You've been surviving so long you forgot what it means to thrive. You've grown used to betrayal, so you stopped expecting loyalty. But God is restoring your hope, not through hype, through healing. The bitterness, it's leaving. The heaviness, it's lifting. The fear of being seen again, God is washing it away. Because He's not just preparing a platform, He's preparing your heart. He's not just sending blessings, He's rebuilding your identity. And I know you've questioned yourself. You've wondered if maybe you were too sensitive. Maybe you did something wrong. Maybe you imagined it all. But no, chosen one, your sensitivity is spiritual. Your pain had a purpose, and your journey was part of a bigger story. Romans 8:28 declares, And we know that all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are called according to His purpose. That's you. Not some things, all things, even the moments that felt like death, even the doors that slammed, even the seasons where everything went silent. You see, when God gets ready to elevate someone, He doesn't do it based on public popularity. He does it based on private surrender, and you surrendered. You laid it all down, your ego, your dreams, your pride, your tears. You said, God, I don't understand, but I trust you. And that trust became the seed for your miracle. That's why you felt something stirring recently. The shift, the urgency, the restlessness. That's not anxiety, that's activation. Your spirit is picking up what your eyes can't yet see. Heaven is aligning the final pieces. Your angels are getting into position. The people you need, not the fake ones, not the draining ones, but the divinely assigned ones, are being drawn to you. And when it comes, when the doors swing open and the light of purpose begins to shine on you, do not shrink. Do not apologize for the favor. Do not dim your glow to keep others comfortable. You were meant to shine. God's justice is not about revenge. It's about alignment. It's about rebalancing what darkness tried to distort. It's about proving that obedience matters, that holiness still has power, that those who walk with God will not be put to shame. So rise up, speak again, dream again, believe again, because everything the enemy stole is returning, but with interest, and not just physical things, but spiritual boldness, creative clarity, emotional restoration, and divine confidence. You're not going back to who you were. That person was surviving. You're stepping into who you were born to be, a voice, a healer, a leader, a light. The past version of you had potential. This version of you, it has power. Jeremiah 29:11 reminds us, For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future. That's your promise. That's your birthright. That's what hell tried to bury, and what heaven is now resurrecting. So lift your head, wipe your tears. You're not broken, you're becoming. You're not delayed, you're being deployed. The fire didn't burn you. It branded you with glory, and your next steps, they're not small, they're sacred. Now, chosen one, take a moment, breathe, feel that. That's your spirit recognizing the truth. That's your soul remembering why it came to earth. That's heaven knocking. And when you answer, everything will change. Because when God reveals purpose, He doesn't whisper, He thunders. And when He moves, no man can stop it. Not the boss who overlooked you, not the ex who discarded you, not the so-called friend who betrayed you, not even the fears that once paralyzed you. You are on the brink of holy fulfillment, and every battle was worth it. Every loss is about to make sense. Every delay is now becoming destiny. Your divine purpose is rising. Have you ever wondered why the attacks against you were so intense? Why the betrayals stung so deeply? Why people you barely knew resented you without cause, and those closest to you sometimes treated you like a stranger? It wasn't about your personality. It wasn't about your mistakes. It was about your light. Chosen one, you've been carrying something sacred even when you didn't fully know it. And light, true divine light, always exposes what's hidden. That's why you triggered people's shadows. That's why you were misunderstood. You were never meant to blend in. You were born to expose, to awaken, to elevate. And darkness cannot stand in the presence of someone marked by heaven. But let's look deeper. Why does God allow it? Why does He permit the chosen ones to suffer more deeply, more silently, more mysteriously? It's because the laws of the kingdom operate in divine paradoxes. In Matthew 23:11-12, Jesus says, "The greatest among you will be your servant. For those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted." Do you see the contradiction in the world's eyes? Those who are crushed become crowned. Those who are last become first. Those who are rejected become the very ones God raises. The chosen ones walk this paradox. You were humbled before honor, hidden before highlighted, mocked before magnified. Your suffering was never a sign that God had forgotten you. It was the holy preparation that heaven uses for the ones it calls higher. Job is one of your divine case studies. A man who lost everything. His friends turned on him, his wealth vanished, his health crumbled. And yet, Job 42:10 tells us, "The Lord restored his fortunes and gave him twice as much as he had before." Why? Because he endured. Because he stayed faithful even when everything screamed, "Curse God and give up." Sound familiar? And think of Joseph, thrown in a pit by his brothers, sold as a slave, imprisoned for a crime he didn't commit. But Genesis 50:20 reveals the higher plan. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives. Your pain is not just for you, it's for the healing of others. That's why it had to go so deep. You were never just going through it. You were being positioned. And the ones who attacked you, they weren't just random people. Spiritually, they were agents of the adversary, sent to distract you, derail you, discourage you before you could discover your purpose. But the beauty is this: even the enemy's plans are repurposed in the hands of God. Romans 8:31 reminds us, if God is for us, who can be against us? And not just that, but what was meant to break you becomes the bricks you now stand on. Let's talk about the psychology of why people treated you the way they did. Some people rejected you because they couldn't control you. Your spirit was too wild, too pure, too sovereign to be manipulated. Others walked away because they could feel your elevation before it even happened. Spirit recognizes spirit, even if the mind doesn't understand it. Jealousy often comes not from your possessions, but from your presence. You could be broke and still walk into a room and make people uncomfortable. Why? Because your light confronts their stagnation. Your growth exposes their compromise. Your calling threatens their comfort. You've made people uncomfortable without saying a word, because your very existence carries weight. Now consider this. Every time you were overlooked, it was God shielding you. Every time someone left, it was God pruning your garden. He removed the ones who would have poisoned your promise. He cut off the branches that couldn't bear the weight of your fruit. John 15:2 says, He cuts off every branch in me that bears no fruit, while every branch that does bear fruit, He prunes so that it will be even more fruitful. You thought it was punishment. It was pruning, and now you're about to bear fruit that will last. The people who doubted you were part of the training. The rejection wasn't just emotional, it was spiritual conditioning. Because God is calling you into spaces where you can no longer rely on human validation. You had to learn to hear His voice above the noise. You had to be emptied of praise so you could be filled with purpose. Chosen one, your soul has been on a long journey. You've walked through the wilderness. You've been tested, tried, refined, and now God is connecting the pain to the purpose, the trauma to the testimony, the heartbreak to the healing. He's showing you that none of it was wasted. You are about to step into the very thing you were born for. That dream that won't die, that burning in your belly, that knowing deep in your bones. It's not imagination. It's instruction. It's divine blueprint. It's your soul remembering what it was sent here to do. And you will do it, not through striving, but through surrender, not through perfection, but through presence. Because what God is birthing through you won't come through systems or titles or platforms. It will come through alignment. You are a soul on assignment, and now you know why it hurt. Now you understand why it had to happen the way it did, because you weren't being punished. You were being positioned, and you weren't being broken. You were being built. So don't regret your past. Don't despise the wounds, because from those very wounds, healing oil is flowing. And the people who once wounded you, one day they will need the oil that now flows from your scars. The battle qualified you, the silence trained you, the tears watered your gift, and now heaven is about to announce what earth has tried to deny. Now that you've come this far, now that the veil is lifting, now that your spirit has remembered what your pain tried to bury, you must understand this one final truth. You are not becoming a chosen one. You have always been one. Even before the betrayal, even before the heartbreak, even before the first prayer you whispered in the dark, the divine fingerprint of God was upon you. You didn't earn this identity. It was spoken over you before you took your first breath. Jeremiah 1:5 echoes like thunder across the corridors of time. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. You were set apart, marked, commissioned by heaven. You didn't choose this path. It chose you. And though you've walked through fire, though you've been misunderstood and overlooked, though you've been carrying dreams that seem to die in your hands, God is still not done. In fact, He's just getting started. What's ahead of you is not just another season. It's a spiritual awakening. What's opening before you is not just a door. It's a destiny, and all of heaven is standing behind it. The angels that protected you in the valley are now gathering to announce your rising. The same power that resurrected Jesus is alive in you, not to entertain the world, but to transform it. You carry a vibration the world desperately needs, a sound of truth, a presence of purity, a fire that breaks chains just by walking into a room. You don't have to prove yourself. You don't have to strive anymore. Just be who God created you to be. Chosen one, your divine purpose has been forged in pain and watered with tears. But now it blooms. Now it rises. And now God is calling you to step into it. Not next month, not next year. Now, that little stirring you felt, that pull to create, to teach, to speak, to heal, to shine, to build, that's not random. It's not ambition. It's the echo of eternity. It's God tugging on your soul, saying, "Come, it's time." And when you take that step, even a small one, the atmosphere around you will shift. Watch how confirmation starts flowing. Watch how strangers speak into your life without even knowing you. Watch how ideas spark like lightning in your spirit. That's the divine flow. That's purpose awakening. But you must choose to trust it. Trust the voice within. Trust the signs. Trust the whispers. Don't let fear silence what faith is trying to declare. Isaiah 30:21 says, "Whether you turn to the right or to the left, your ears will hear a voice behind you saying, 'This is the way, walk in it.'" That voice will not scream, it will not shout, it will speak in peace, and when peace comes, follow it. That's your compass now. God is not calling you to do what everyone else is doing. He's calling you to become what the world has forgotten: holy, set apart, uncompromised, radiant with glory. The world has seen enough performers. What it needs now is presence. So let your life be a sermon. Let your silence carry authority. Let your posture be worship. Let your walk be worship. Every step you take from this day forward, take it like you know you are backed by heaven's armies. Let go of the pain, not because it didn't happen, but because it can no longer hold you. Let go of the fear, not because danger is gone, but because God goes before you now. Let go of the need to be understood. Not everyone can understand the language of the anointed. Your purpose was not given to a crowd. It was whispered to your soul. You are rising, you are glowing, you are becoming what they said you never could. And when people come asking how you did it, how you survived, how you became so radiant after so much ruin, you'll smile and say, "God revealed who I truly was." That's the miracle, that's the shift, that's the beauty of being chosen. Before we close, let me speak this over you. You are not weak, you are weaponized. You are not forgotten. You are favored. You are not broken. You are being built. You are not behind. You are right on divine schedule. Now go. Go and write that book. Start that ministry. Launch that idea. Love again, speak again, dream again, heal again, live again. You are the chosen one, and your divine purpose is not just calling you, it's crowning you. As you move forward, let Psalm 138:8 seal your spirit. The Lord will fulfill his purpose for me. Your steadfast love, O Lord, endures forever. Walk boldly, chosen one. Heaven has already gone ahead of you. Your story has only just begun. Until we meet again, keep shining, keep standing, and never forget, you were born for this.